This is Colorado Matters from CPR News. I'm Ryan Warner. It is half Ethiopian restaurant and half Ethiopian grocery store, but it is wholly under the watch of Zabiba Ahmed.
I pretty much cover every aspect in the store and the restaurant. I wait tables, and sometimes I cook and I cut meat.
Megananya is in a fairly unremarkable strip mall in Aurora, but inside, diners sit on hand-carved chairs and under thatched roofs. Then there are the store's shelves.
So there's berbere. Berbere is a spice that we use to cook the food, and it's the big hot chili powder. That's ambasha, and it's bread made from flour. Mainly we eat it with tea, hot tea. And sambusa, it's a flour pocket. We fill it up with lentils, but you can fill it up with different kind of stuff. So we fry it, and then it's good to go.
You'll find foods like these Saturday in Denver at the Taste of Ethiopia. The event returns for the first time since the pandemic, and Megananya will be there. So Ahmed and her team have a lot of cooking to do.
They're gonna make the main dish. They're gonna be tips, which is it's made from beef, and they'll be using onions, olive oil, garlic, ginger, rosemary.
What is, when you think of tips, is that something you've eaten since you were a child?
Yes,
What does it make you
course.
think? What memories does tips bring up?
It makes me think of my mom and back home, because when we want to eat some meat, that's the special dish that she makes. That's what it reminds me of.
Is yours as good as hers?
Absolutely not. Hers is the best. Hers is the best. But she's the one who taught us here. She was here a couple years back. She's the one who puts everything together.
One of the organizers of Saturday's Taste of Ethiopia is Nebiyu Asfau, and we sat at one of the hot tables I described to talk food, culture, and history.
The first wave of Ethiopians arrived in Colorado in the early to mid-'70s during the revolution in Ethiopia, and the monarchy was overthrown. So there was an influx of immigrants and refugees. In the 80s, there was war and the Great Famine that killed 1 million people. That also caused a lot of people to escape. And then in the 90s, the diversity visa was abundantly given to Ethiopia by the U.S. government. So that brought another wave of folks here. And during the refugee crisis, Colorado, the state of Colorado in the 80s, was one of the handful of states that opened its doors for Ethiopian refugees. So quite a significant number came here, and then family reunion and things like that. So the community started growing. We're also mountain people. Ethiopia is a very mountainous country, so it feels like home. It is home.
In front of me and Asfau are very full plates of tibs and veggies and a spongy bread called injera. You use it instead of utensils. It would be too much food for one person. And that's the point, he says.
The pillar of Ethiopian culture is sharing. I mean, that's the theme everywhere. That's the reason when we eat together on a big platter. You don't get your own plate. When we drink coffee, you don't go pick up coffee to go. You sit around a table and you go through the whole coffee ceremony process. It's almost religious. So the family is together, and then as a community with our neighbors, one thing we brought here is that we believe we are our brother's keeper. So we just want to share with everyone what we have, we think is beautiful. Our heritage is beautiful, and we want to preserve that. And also our children, like I said, we're on the third generation, are all Americans. So it is an American festival, just like the Greek, the Italian festival. But it's important for our community because this is our opportunity to share our culture and to show our contribution into the melting pot. Because we've made significant contribution in Colorado for half a century, but we want to be seen now as part of the mainstream society.
More broadly, Asfau thinks people are rediscovering Africa.
But this time, Africans are wanting an equal footing and showing all the beautiful things that we have to offer. You know, in previous decades, we were looked down upon. But I think the world, you know, with the internet and the world coming smaller and closer together, people are realizing how beautiful African music is and how much influence it actually has on American music, fashion, how colorful and beautiful it is. Fashion designers are now going to Africa to find the color coordination and all this that we just did, naturally as a culture. So there is a lot of cultural export from Africa happening at the moment. And as long as it continues to be in a way that's respecting the indigenous culture, Africa has a lot to contribute to the world.
Indeed, including music, which he says will feature prominently at the Taste of Ethiopia, Saturday from 10 to 9 at Parkfield Lake Park in Northeast Denver. Nebiu Asfaw is one of the organizers, and we met at Megananya Restaurant and Grocery in Aurora.